Okay, good day everyone. You're welcome to Cetro's vlog. This is that Cetro, the most outstanding pepperoni sugarlicious physical husband. And as usual, I have beside me my hot baby girl.
Good day, everyone. You're welcome to the live stream today. I'm Jaketo Luanisetru, and it's a pleasure having you around today. In fact, Happy New Year. Yes, we've done live stream.
We've done live stream this year.
Okay.
Okay, the topic we are actually looking at this evening is just as it shows who is really de-educating the continent of Africa or the Africans? Who is de-educating us? Because it's not, we can't say that the Africans are not educated before the influx of some foreigners that claim in one way or the other that they are discovering the people that are already existing, even if possibly longer than their own existence. So, but the main thing we are looking ahead of the game because presently the system of education that is coming into Africa is not meeting up with what the Africans actually needed or what we need presently, and as such is constituting a nuisance. Okay, Caroline Owangi, wow, hola, beautiful couple.
Hello.
Hello, Caroline.
Caroline, it's nice having you around this day. Yeah. Is it morning or afternoon or night where you are, please?
It's midnight over here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's just some few minutes to okay, just 7 minutes to midnight here in Nigeria. But
Okay,
I tell you that let me just give you the picture of what is currently going on in Africa, specifically in Nigeria. The system of education that is coming into this part of the world
Yeah.
is such that it's trying to make people become robotic. Time stamping machine. People are being trained to work on basic control limits and the like, just like they have people working on the former plantations in time past by the colonial masters. But what we need is not that now, because you see your uncles, your parents are even looking for job.
Yeah.
You, the child that they have sent to school, you are back from the university, and you are also joining the queue looking for job. So the question is, why are we being de-educated? Who is really taking out the education from us? Because Africans are known to be set of people that learn by observation,
Yes.
learn by passing on of the baton, which is called tradition.
Yeah.
And we learn by observation. We were basically doers before now, until some system of education cropped in and tried to like paint what we call the white collar job.
Yeah.
And those white collar jobs are nowhere now. And according to Elon Musk,
Yes.
Elon Musk is stating it clearly now to the whole world
That is scared of the future.
he's scared of the future. Why? Because robots, because the system of education that is being pushed to this part of the world is such that want to convert human beings to what? To robots, to be answerable to the so and so, the 5%. Now, this same 5%, they are now trying to do away with humans. They are now building robots to actually assume of the position that they have created for man. Now, Elon Musk is saying that if care is not taken in the next few years, there will be no job for humans. Okay.
That in the next few years, there will certainly be nothing that humans can do that robots cannot do. And as such, that humans will just be ineffective. And it's like robots are going to take AI, artificial intelligence, is going to take over the world. And it's just like, he said he's so scared for the world, like, there's just going to be a universal wage that people will just be paid for working, for not working, because robots are going to be doing virtually what all humans are doing. And if there are no people that are thinking outside the box, as in, I just that's why we just have to come up with this topic. I want to hear your view and how it's
See Isabel Njue.
ah
She said the baby is getting bigger and bigger, watching from Kansas. Wow, thank you so very
Thank you
much.
so very much.
You have not even
Yeah.
seen
Yes,
it.
he's seen the baby.
Okay, so
Victor,
the
say thank you.
then we have James King. Oh, I'm in the US, Ohio. Wow, James
Wow,
King,
you're
that's lovely.
welcome.
So lovely to have you on ground. Whoa, Benedicto Mirado. I'm watching from the Philippines.
Philippines,
Wow. I
wow.
don't know why we love so much about the Philippines. So lovely, so lovely. I'm so glad with people all over the world always backing us up, following up on us, and we are so grateful to have
Yes.
beautiful people like you across the
Yes.
globe. So, if you are watching
And
and you have not told us where you are watching us from, kindly let us know. There is comment section there. And as such, if you really want to join us live on this stream, I'm going to be dropping the link for you to join the live studio. But let me say this: if the system of education we are having that is going around the world now is actually not working again,
yeah.
is not producing this kind of result that is
Yes.
expected on this side of the continent, which is the African continent, then what do we think we should do? Very easy. I'm surprised that some parents are now learning. They are beginning to run away from that old fashioned system of education that is just turning
No, the
our
challenge actually is that right here in Africa, most persons are just on the average, and most people are living maybe even below the poverty line. And the system of education, especially somewhere in Nigeria where we are in, is such that it is now for the private sector, and it's so expensive. The educational system is right now so very expensive, especially in, I'm talking currently in Nigeria. And the other sector, the public sector schools, are nothing to write home about. So it's just the private sector, and there are no limits to, like, this is the lowest fee you can charge, this is the highest fee. So it's just by, it's not like highly competitive. So you have schools charging huge amounts of money for children, and parents having nothing. They just want to meet up that their children are not going to the worst of schools. They just make sure they spend their all to send them to school.
And at the end of the day, those children that the families are spending thousands of dollars to send to these schools, they come out to
And
find
there's no job.
themselves to be unemployed because there are no jobs to absorb them in, because what they have been spending thousands of dollars, which is millions of naira here in this part of the world, what they have been spending those huge sum of money on is not what can create jobs. It is what can make them work under supervision
Control the environment.
of a maybe a business tycoon
Yeah.
that is basically not even as educated as they are,
Yeah.
but is in control of what? Of the business. And as such, we begin to ask ourselves, who is making us lose the value of being the doer? Because majority of Africans now, they have been exposed to this system of education, and as such, they are also trying to expose their children to that level of education, but something is happening. What is that is happening? Lots of parents are beginning to see that, oh, it's actually a waste of money that they have been doing. If they continue in such trend of just spending all their income
Yeah.
to pay for school fees, and at the end of the day, these children get out of those high walls, high tiles of education, and they can't secure a job, neither can they create one for
That
themselves.
is even the worst thing.
What we observe here, right here in our foundation studio, we are presently at the foundation studio. Right here, what we observe is that some parents are beginning to be wise now. They are now bringing their children, they are bringing their children from after school training in crafts, in what's it called? In drama, in things that they
Various
are
crafts,
various craft
fashion, photography.
that they feel that
That's the
that the computer or what's it called,
the robots.
the robot might not be able to do.
But
I want to hear your opinion
yeah.
if that is right, because they are now looking at it that, oh, with what is going on now, if I just leave my child to the time stamping machine of garbage in, garbage out, they are still teaching some of them some mechanical laws that they don't physically apply, and they are teaching them quadratic equation that you might not see at the end of the day, or they are showing them who discover Mississippi, who discovered this and that, and the likes of that. Things that cannot transform into creative activity. So parents are now beginning to carry, after school, they're now looking for where their children can be properly groomed in a particular line of craft. And I
Yes.
was so surprised that a particular parent brought their child that is about 8 years
Yes.
to learn a craft.
Yeah. I think, please, would like to have you comment if you're still on the system of education we've been advocating for, like we've been saying on this platform, is that African centric system of education that will be producers. I just told my husband, I said, isn't it right that in our elementary schools, we call them primary schools here, like the upper primary schools, that these children will just start learning their crafts from, as in really, so that you make it 50-50, the normal school work, the normal education, like the Western education that they've been used to, then the normal craft. Do you know one thing that makes youth? I've been a youth instructor from immediately after my junior high school, as in I've been instructing youth just like a youth. So I've learned one thing is that youth likes freedom. They don't like that you control them. They like to do what they like. So most of them, they have inborn potentials and skills. That's just the challenge of the world, is actually that we neglected the youths that are now reading now. So if we can just correct this, if you're there, you can locate a youth, we can locate these youths, and you make them feel welcomed. You listen to them, you appreciate them, you honor them. Then you say, what do you like doing? I tell you, they are going to, their minds, you'll be blown up, because they love to have their freedom. And in that freedom, all you need to do is just what? To guide them right. If you don't allow them do what they want to do, they might be negatively influenced to go and do other things that will now be, and that will be hazardous to
Okay,
the existence of humans.
let me come in here. I observed that it's not only in Africa that the school fees is going high and the rest, even in the Western world. Oh, game up me. It's so nice having you game up me.
Can come
We
online.
want you to come online. This is the link. I just sent the link for you to join us online. Happy New Year, game up me. It's been long we saw. Okay, so pun intended. Oh, great subject. Okay, thank you so very much. So we are waiting for you to join us online.
Okay.
So, like, I observed that even in the Western world,
Yeah.
school fees is high there as well. A lot of parents, at least some person I came across, they were complaining about high school fees and the likes. To the extent that they have to get their children educated through loans, and they are paying heavily. Either the parent or the child have to be paying back those loans, those heavy loans, at the end of the day. But let's ask ourselves this question: if the world is moving towards AI, robotics, taking over these jobs that we are spending
So much
so
to
much
train our
on,
children.
where is the fate of these children that are collecting these loans in the Western world? In Africa, you don't even think about loans.
No,
Nobody is, no
you
government is
can, then
going
you
to
will
give you
not be
any loan.
educated.
So, is your parents that will spend their life savings? Oh, Benedicto Mirado says, let us pray for one another. Exactly, exactly. Because either in the Western world or in Africa or in any part of
Of the world.
the world, the same thing is going on. People are paying a whole lot for tuition fees, people are paying a whole lot for school fees, and at the end of the day, what are they getting back in return? What they get back in return is the fact that they can tell them that no movement. Everybody should stay at home. Work work has been postponed to maybe this thing. Downsizing is going on around the globe now. Downsizing is going up around the globe now. Then because of whatever nonsense that is going on around the world, people are really not given that opportunity like before to really showcase what they have. But only those that have skills, special skills, talent, and the
Yes.
likes, they are the ones that are taking over the tech world now. The social media and creativity is coming up. And parents in Africa are beginning to think, oh, it's not just about my child getting the A plus in English, A plus in mathematics, A plus in this thing. What can this child do with his hand that can earn him money? I remember somebody was telling me that in the United States, the most paid craftsman are the plumbers.
Yes, was not.
That the plumbers are the most well paid this in there. You can imagine. Gone are those days that people are looking down on crafts and the likes of them. We are experiencing something different now because parents, even some rich parents, are now like taking out their children. They want their children to go and learn one craft or the other. But let me surprise you. Some of those children, as little as they are the one pushing their parent now
Yes.
that I want to learn this. I want to learn hair making. I want to learn fashion. I want to learn how to
the
act.
arts of-
I want to learn how to be a model. I want to. So back to our question, our startup question: who is de-educating Africa? Because you still see, especially the laymen,
Yeah.
the masses, the poor masses in Africa, maybe because they are not exposed to internet or the likes, they are still looking for how to borrow money to send their children to the four walls of the schools without allowing them to even learn a craft or the other. I'm not saying that they should not go to school.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the the so-called glorified foreign education should not be the totality of what you expose your children to. Your children should be exposed to a particular craft that they have interest in.
Yeah.
Because as it's going now, I think in one of these days I'm going to show a video on this channel that will really talk about the level at which AI has gone into.
Yes.
Because we have some globalists spending, as in investing so much, investing hugely into AI, robots, and very soon robots is going to take over. This one is not a question. It's a statement of fact. Robotics is going to take over majority of the jobs that humans are doing. And I was shocked, or I was shook when Elon Musk was saying that there might be something like universal basic wages. Immediately I heard that universal basic wages to be paid to human being, because what the robot can do, robot doesn't have life, doesn't get tired. Robot can work from 10 to 10, 9 to 9. There is no rest for a robot. He has been created to come and work out his life. Now, by the time this robotic begin to get expanded and the likes, a lot of people, a lot of businesses are going to invest in all these robots. Oh, my baby wants to come to meet me. A lot of parents are, I said parents, don't mind me. A lot of investors are going to what? A lot of businesses are going to invest more in robotics. And by the time they do that, it means that there will be less job for the humans to do. So Elon Musk was advocating that maybe there will be a universal basic salary that will be paid to human being for not doing anything. Some persons might be jumping up and be saying, "Oh, this is fantastic! You get paid for not working." But let me tell you, whoever is paying you for not working might also be silencing you from saying anything against them. So that is where the challenge is. And looking at what is obtainable around the globe now, it's like there is a push. There is a push for the source of income of most humans to be coming from a particular source, majorly the government. And when the government tends to be in control, no, living. When the government tends to be in control of payment, when the government tends to be in control of your payment, they can actually tell you you have no right to say this, that against the government that is feeding you. So where does that leave the human being? It leaves you in the hand of those that are paying you your basic salary for survival. So if they ask you that on the basis of the fact that you have not complied to the laws and dues or what have you, so you are now sanctioned, there is no food for you. I just felt Africans and the whole world should just wake up and start thinking without the box. We don't need the box to think now. Oh, James King says yes. Okay. So because there is no two way about it. You can't. I observe the trend that is going on in America now. The trend that is going on in America is that a lot of people are already getting used to getting paid because of one issue or the other that I don't want to mention now. Getting paid, they call it free money, but I tell you there is nothing like free money. This was how Africa started to dwindle. They were thinking, oh, there is free money. They started moving Africans from being the productive hub, to a hub where they depend on foreign aids, foreign support, foreign what have you, international loans and the likes of them. Now look at where Africa is. And if care is not taken, the Western world and the rest of the world, they're already applying that route. They're applying the route in which robotics might take up. Okay, we have someone. Oh, Nubin May, let's give it up to Nubin May.
Happy New Year!
Oh my goodness.
Hola, greetings, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? I just was listening in. I don't want to interrupt. I have the young ones here. My young ones
Oh,
here. There we go.
see,
Trying to get it
Victor is
together. I'm
greeting you.
gonna put
Victor
it a little
greet.
bit louder. I
Okay.
I think what you guys are talking about is so super imperative. I'm holding on for just a minute. Yeah, so can
Okay.
you hear me still?
Yes.
Very well.
Okay, man, my mic is totally low, but yes, family, what you're doing and what you're saying is important because we're dealing with a global problem, and the young people globally do not have skills like real down earthly skills, how to garden, how to build, how to life skills, like you're saying, the plumbers, craftspeople, they make money because they build a society. And
Yeah.
this what I'm learning as a mother who has children in college, and they're just they're kind of like floating, and I'm always promote college, but I really think at this point I was telling them math and science. I didn't want to be like don't want to be like that. I'm an artist person, so I'm always like, yes, artist, you know but at the same time, that math and science is so imperative right now for us to, especially as brown people around the world, African people, Latin American people. We um we have to know these. It's as terrible as we have to be ready, because a lot of even the main resources come from the earth. It's coming from Latin America. It's coming from Africa. All this technology, these crystals. So I think definitely science and technology, but natural. healing and natural living and sustainable life skills are just as imperative, are just as important. It's like right brain and left brain. So I think living, the creator has given us the earth to be artistic and scientific. And
Exactly.
when we go too far to the right or too far to the left, when we get so artistic that it becomes botchery, like what we have right now with the music, it's not art, it's pornography. Let's be real, right? It's not art. So, and then the science, it's supposed to help us. It's supposed to be assisting. That's why the creator, gave us the science mind. But then it goes into perverseness where humans think, they want to play God and then like really rig up the system and mess up the system and then start. A lot of this to me, I think, is so controlled. And I'm just going to say it is genocidal. There's whoever's running it. They're like, okay, we only have so much resources for us to keep on hoarding up. So we need to keep the masses, in situations and not ahead. So it's really sad. But I think if we stay simple, go back, Father Abraham and all the other ancestors and ones in the turn of the century, we've made it this far. I don't think that we should get too caught up. We should be caught up with the technology, but don't let that catch us up because there could be a light switch. There could be environmental issues, uh, an asteroid, natural whatever, and they're trying to
You know where
train our
the challenge
children.
is.
They're trying to
You
train
know,
our children not to even know how to like live on this earth. They're trying to make it so artificial. And I'm gonna say like with all this stuff, I think with all this technology that we have, mental illness is definitely on the rise, and it's going to be more because our children,
seriously.
with the metaverse and all that, our children are just, we are so, what I'm saying, even us as adults who know better, who didn't really live through this system, are so caught up in these systems. I think we need to like neo it and know how to work in the system. The Matrix, everybody talk about the Matrix, but the real movie or the real book was written by I think a Sylvia Brown. Her name is Sylvia Brown, and the real message in that, I think that's where people need to focus on the real spirit of the thing. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We got to go back to the basics. Got to go back to the Bible. But as that example, as the Matrix, her book was one thing. They took the movie and made it a whole nother thing. But we're still kind of talking out of in that like it was a blessing that some people stole her productions. My face, my neck looked so weird. Anyways, it was a blessing, but God had helped us to get to this point. So I think that story, that book, that was inspired and plagiarized and given to the world is a warning to us that we just really have to kind of don't get so caught up. Like right now, they want us to get into the metaverse. This is all to prep the children to live in another world, to live in their little us, to live in our little houses, our submarines, but then the real world is in cyberspace so that we don't connect and contact and they want to, what, it almost seems like this technology is like they make it for fun, but it's really for surveillance.
Hmm.
But at the same time, they getting surveillance. It's turning around against them because it is, God is using it as a weapon to wake people up. So people want to be, it's a mental illness what's happening. But I still think the creator has given us technology. Technology is not evil. It's who's in control of it and what are we using it for. And I think that's what we have to definitely have our children to have, that right brain and left brain knowledge, know how to work with the science that God has given us. This is the earth. He wouldn't even open up our minds to know how to fly out of here if he didn't want us to, because I think some people definitely need to get up out of here. They don't belong here. We children belong here. So I know my face is all weird, but yeah, that's what I have to say. It's just like it's you see my
you
PJs. It's
you
very
actually
interesting. Sorry, I'm just gonna turn off the
Yeah,
camera because this distracted me. My head,
okay,
my head just looks like it's floating,
no problem, no problem. It's okay.
so it just throws me off.
The challenge is that the challenge is exactly what you have stated, that a lot of mental illness is going on right now
Mhm.
because we are twigging a lot of things that is actually not normal.
Mhm.
We are changing the way the world has been, and there is no limit again, to the extent that some persons, some percentage of people, I call them the 5% that want to dominate the world, that want to be in charge. They want to be the one to press the button and everybody obey them. They are doing a whole lot to resensitize the world, reshape the world, remodify the world in a way that they are just expressing their own wishful thinking. Now, okay, I will go through some comments here. Benedicta Mirado says, I agree technology is good. Yes, we agree technology is good, but even as at that, whatever is good in the world, there is need for us to have the extent to which we manipulate it to work against the normal procedures of life. Anything that is working against human being, that is going to make human being redundant, that is going to make human beings to stop being that. There is this sense of being able to work,
Fulfillment.
to feel, to fulfill your needs, to purchase what you want at the right time, not that you are just docile. If you make a human being docile and there is now a system of reward, just like according to Elon Musk, that he says that in the nearest future, which is very, very close by, if something is not done, robots might take over all the works that humans
And
are doing, and as such, universal basic salary will now be paid to the rest of the humans because
and it's
they are
not
not going to be
happening.
working. That takes away your economic freedom, and anything that takes away your economic freedom takes away your right.
Elon Musk also said that technology is also very good. AI is good, but he's concerned about the person behind the robots. That
Oh yes.
if a bad person should just get a hold of the robotics, there's going to be lots of problems for the world because the person will just be imputing things that will just be weapons of what I don't want to say. So that's another concern, that who are those behind this robotics that
And
we're talking
let
about?
me just add to what my wife just said. You know, China. I did a video in which China just launched what's it called? Robotic warfare. Have
Mhm.
have you seen that video?
I heard about it, and
Okay,
fir-
that's it.
I already saw.
They created some robotic machines with ammunitions and the likes that can go up as locating who they tag as enemy and bring them down. So now the question is this: if such robot gets into the hand of the wrong guy that is not thinking straight, what do you think will happen? The US have already recorded a lot of some insane shooting in the public by some persons, and now you now want to even move away from human being. You now want to put some deadly weapons into the hand of robots.
Robots that can malfunction. Okay, robots that can be reprogrammed. Robots.
Robots can malfunction, and even when the robot is not malfunctioning, the person behind the programming of the robot, what if is one of such persons that have lost it up there? That means there is disaster awaiting the world. So it's just for us to know that the limit to everything. Let me just quickly go through some charts here. um Let me start from Benedicto says, let us pray for one another.
Yeah, that
Yes,
is just the
that is
thing.
that.
Definitely.
Going back to God is the main thing. The world is already wrapping up for people that would like to hear. As in, these are what will I say? Is it eschatological events, as in events of the last days, as in things? Knowledge will be increasing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what the
Mm-hmm.
Bible says. Knowledge will be on the rise. Knowledge will be increasing, and you just have to watch it. And that is why we just have to pray that we are saved and everyone is saved.
Okay, let's go to Peter Powell. Peter Powell says, "Baby is lovely and growing fast. Your problem is the same as the rest of the world. Globalist parasites want everyone controlled. Good luck."
Mm-hmm.
Peter
And it's
Powell,
interesting.
you just nailed it. You nailed it seriously. Then Benedicta says, "I agree, Peter Powell." Okay, Benedicta is agreeing with you. Then there's this beautiful lady, Segment Secret Weapon. Okay, Segment Secret Weapon. So lovely a lady here. It says, I like this question. Who is doing that? Thanks. Okay. A lot, when you say,
It's
who's
it's it's an open-ended question. Nobody can even answer.
to me, I would just say the 5%. You understand? So the education of the Africans is such that a lot of things that we are allowed to be sunk into us, in which we are forgetting about our tradition, our normal way of education, which is majorly by observation and doing, we are losing those values that really makes us the human that we are. And immediately you start losing the values that makes you the human that you are, in acceptance of some programmed languages and the likes. This is what you end up with. You end up losing your jobs to the robot. So Akeda
And
says so.
and
And
actually, if I could say, earlier you guys were talking about how, this whole, world system of giving people money and nobody's working. In the scripture, it's not a scriptural quote, but you know how they say that idle hands is the devil's workshop. So they're trying
exactly.
to make people idle, don't have no purpose, or the young people. And also at the same time, not only idle, but wanting. Like there's this like consumerism, like, oh, if you gotta be making money. It's such a contradiction, because how are they supposed to be making money unless we're gonna go start doing the pirate thing, and even in the West, even America, we really worship pirates. Like they have us having our kids just loving on pirates, just pirates, 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 and those guys are just the good guys. So it's like this whole mind screwery, you know what I'm saying? This mental crazy. And I can't say, ma'am, I can't say who the they are, but we can definitely see the same tracks. They are whoever started this whole, it's consumption. That's the whole thing. Consumption. Um, this they're selling everyone to live this certain life, so we're becoming slaves and enslaved to the system. And they're just, who is the they? Well, this consumerism started, and this mass consumerism and this globalization exercise started in the 1400s. I'm not saying that people didn't do marketing, and in the back end, in ancient times, Roman times, this is nothing new. This is the same thing, whether we're talking BC or AD. Who it is, we don't know. But if it's anybody, there's people who work in a sea of cooperation, like you, Cetros, and other people who watch you. There are some of us who work in a sea of cooperation. There's other people who work in a sea of competition, and it's sharks and killers and pirates and all that. So the they are whoever that little kid. I like to even get it down to the simplified version. We all were children, since we're talking about school and stuff. But we always, there's always those students in school or in the playground that want to take control of all the toys. And they say, who can play with what? Who can't play with what? Based off of their own personal bias. So that same little kid who's that mean, méchant little kid in the schoolyard is that same adult who wants to be grabalicious, who wants to take all the resources and dip it out as he wishes, give 2 or 3 or 4 to his friends, and let the other ones share one if they even get any. Or they have to do some stupid tantrics to get something that should belong to everybody, that doesn't even belong to the child. I'm talking from a spiritual point of view. They are infantile children
Hmm.
spiritually who want to keep everything that, and they don't belong here. That's what, they don't belong here. So the creator, in this, all this tribulation that we're happening, that's happening, unfortunately, a lot of us who didn't say anything, when you see those kids and they start bullying everyone, you don't say anything, and the next thing you're bullied.
And
So
that's
we
another
need,
thing
this is standing up. This is
that's
just
another thing
standing up. God is going to create, they are going to fight each other. That's what's going to happen. They were going to be fighting each other, but we can't
yeah.
fight each other. We have to prepare each other, prepare our children, give them opportunities, and use everybody's strengths for what they are. Some people more scientific, some people more artistic, some people,
Yeah,
and those things, art and science can save us. That's what the
exactly.
creator has given us. I mean, the pyramids are still here to this day. So apparently our ancestors knew something a lot better. And so this new modern technology, and again, it's as new as it is, it's the same old thing, because the same thing happened, even like, let's say, with the Atlantic slave trade. Let's just use that, right? Because that was a consumption. That was like a new, they were moving to a new territory, not necessarily going to space like they trying to now. Going to the other side of the world. They discovered that the earth was round and not flat. They're going to, and so a lot of that, half of the reason why it was possible for people to leave the old world to the new world was technology. The technology of learning how to save and can foods, the spices and the sugars and the chocolate and all the drug addictions that the European people, they had a hard time. They almost died. They almost died in the Black Plague. So give them some sugar, give them some chocolate, give them some tea, give them some tobacco. That's what we call today is a natural drug addiction. So the world is still dealing from an addiction that started way back, I would say even in the Roman times, and even before then, or whoever wanted to conquer the world. But it's an epidemic, a world epidemic that has hit every single one of us culturally, every tribe, every nation, everybody has dealt with conquering and enslavement, but this has taken to another level. This experiment in the new world, the old world, this is like a crack epidemic. You feel me? So this is what I'm saying. Like where we're at right now, we're in this like bad. The world's on this crack called consumption. The world's on this crack called the model of the West, which obviously, if we haven't learned now, it's not flipping working. Okay, it's not working for
Okay.
them. It's not working for us. So it's up to us to be like, you know what? We're just gonna have to bow out of your system somehow, slowly. We have to. I'm not. You actually. We just did a film with our organization. I sent that to you on the comment. It's the
Okay.
MLK Unity Group in California, and
Wow.
we did a film. That's why you haven't heard from me so much. We've been
Wow.
inundated in filming and editing, and I've been driving my children crazy. Like you're gonna learn how to
Wow.
edit.
Wow. Wow.
They know how to edit, but there's new equipment and you know new technology. That's why technology is so great, because
Yeah.
now I can edit a film in a day. When I
Wow.
back in the day when I was editing film, it would take 10 days. So like you were saying, mama, knowledge has increased, and the technology that the creator has given us, it's like, you know what, he punked the world. He's like, you think you're doing, no, I'm just doing this so my
I'm so
children know what
happy
the heck
with
you're
this
doing
one.
faster.
No, no be me. I'm
Yes,
so
sir.
happy with this one that you're talking about the film. I would like to see the link to that film. Uh, I wouldn't mind if you can just drop it below. I'm so happy with the film creation production that you are going into already, and the editing aspect, because over here we've been doing a whole lot. I'm sure. Okay,
Wonderful productions.
I think you'll be seeing some of our films also.
Funny.
We've been discovering youths that are interested in acting, in editing, in photo, as in photography,
Mm-hmm.
cinematography, and I tell you, we've been training a whole lot of them, and we are making progress each day. every
Yes.
to the extent that on our new channel, let me even drop, I will drop the channel link here in case anybody is watching on our other channel, the Cetros channel, this Cetros vlog. On our other channel, the Cetros channel, we have been releasing some films every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays.
And I love them. They are hilarious, because it, first of all, media is what it is, right? This is media, the medium. In ancient times, we were using walls and mountains and prophets and theater. Ain't nothing new. We just got new high speed technology. You feel me? And everything, all these gifts that the Creator has put and allowed man to work with, we have to always find a way to make it sustain, build, grow, spread the love. Because remember, just one of us is stronger than him in the world. I know I'm misquoting that scripture, but one of us in Christ, in the spirit of the Most High. And I'm not saying Christ from a Christian point of view. I'm saying if you're Buddhist, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, even if you're an atheist and you got a good spirit, that's what I'm talking about. The enlightened person in you, the soul in you that says, I'm going to use my word and my platform for wonderful things. And you guys have been doing a great job at that. And I commend the youth and the creativity
Thank
and
you.
and how you're controversial but you're funny, and it's true. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at these times, just laugh, because the joke is on them, not on us, but we just have to hold on
You know
through.
why? You know why we decide to like be adding comic relief into some of those some of those movies, those short movies, because we observe that just like you were saying, a lot of mental illness is going around. People are depressed over here. People do not have jobs. People are losing their jobs. A lot of persons are psychologically affected, and they've started just like what we have in the Christian Bibles, that a time came that they started eating their own children in the Bible. I tell you now, people are kidnapping other people's children for what they call, I don't know how that is working, they call it money rituals.
Yes.
They kidnap other people's children, spill their blood, and use it for sacrifice, for money to be coming into their hands, which is psychological
Not
deformation.
of us.
So, so when we saw all this, the hair is tense around the globe now. It's not even just in Nigeria, it's not just in Africa. Around the world now, the hair is tense. So if we are trying to do a movie, we look for a way to make people laugh and just be relieved. And when we get around people, we just get them happy. There is another video that we did with some youths that were pregnant. With some youths that were pregnant, uh, they got impregnated at early stage of their life. They are not educated, and it was like their world was crushing right before their eyes. The system of education we have presently does not give room, does not entertain any hope for such children. Because if you are pregnant and you are in our schools, you might be asked to pull out.
Yeah.
You might be asked to pull out of the school system. You might be asked to withdraw from the schooling system. Nobody wants to be there for you to still give you hope. But with the help of our foundation, we came up to assist these youth. Presently, one of them is learning fashion, the other one is into makeuping. So it's just yeah, makeup artistry. So it's just a way of action. That's why we're asking ourselves, who is de-educating us? Who is saying that for a youth to have made mistake of being pregnant, she cannot continue to achieve what she so desire to be in life? Should pregnancy debar this youth the opportunity to have the benefit of learning new things, learning how to make money to take care of themselves and their unborn baby. I don't see any reason why a pregnant child, a pregnant girl, should be sent out of school. So those are part of the question that is
No, you
just
can't say that.
no. I don't see. I'm telling. Is my
That's to
no. When you
discourage
say
others.
no, it's not about this thing. If you want to prevent it from discouraging others, why not create a separate section for those that are pregnant, so that they can still have access to whatever system of education that you want to give to them, and also still expose them to crafts that can earn them money, instead of you just pushing them out. They've made the mistake. Should that be the end of the world? If at every mistake that you and I have made, we are thrown out and there is no support anywhere, there is no system of education that can still re-educate you back to what we think is normal, then the system has failed. So these are some of the reasons why we are here, not just to come and be talking. We believe in doing, and that's why we are happy that we picked up the two girls. Presently, they are happier. They are calling us in the morning to say, oh, they want to come to class to come and learn new things. That when they were even talking, they were talking about nobody cares about them. Those are the set of people that
The bad people
the
in the
bad
world.
guys in the world we
start.
pick to start fermenting trouble across the globe. Okay, let me just read through some comments here. Caroline Wangi says, we are not poor. Spiritual truth. We are in a battle. Love, love. Exactly. We are not poor. Africans are not poor. But there is a contention. I put it that way. There is a serious contention to overhaul this beautiful land of Africa and take what rightfully belongs to us away from us and replace it with some machines. So we should be careful.
Artificial.
Cyber Cyber toxin says, as God to creation or as mother to child, the purveyor of needs is arbiter of existence. Such power cannot be granted to fallible men. Yeah, some wish to recreate
Exactly.
all so that they can own it. They cannot
Mm-hmm.
do this. You can't recreate what I know. You can't recreate me, for example, because the easiest people to be manipulated are those that do not know that they know. But I and my wife, for example, we believe that we know what we know. Shey you understand? At least we believe that we know what we know to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just anybody that this we are in such an era that people should not just be gullible, should not just believe everything, should just sit back and test the waters, test the spirit, test the reason
Yes.
behind test the reason behind whatever anybody is flaunting at you. If you are flaunting some amount of dollars to me, not to, so that and you are telling me not to be working and be getting paid, I'm already seeing that you do not mean well for me because you want to render me useless. And based on my experience in the corporate world, I worked in the HR. I discovered that most times when people get to retirement age in the banking sector, I worked in the banking sector then. When they get to the retirement age, once they are retired from that their job, in sooner or later we hear that either they are what's it called, they are paralyzed or they die. Why? I begin to ask myself, why this trend? Why is it that 3 5 years after these people that have worked so much, they are retired from that job, now they have one sickness or the other to nurse after retirement? I discovered that the human system is wired in such a way that activities must just go on. And that is why I have my grandmother till date. She's over 100 years. She still lives on a two-story building. She climbs the stairs and the lights. You cannot tell her to sit down in one place. She will tell you, no, I have to move. She moves from place to place. She does a whole lot of exercise. Now, we are having youth, we are a large population of youth across the globe now. Africa seems to be having large percentage of our population within the cadre of the youth section. If you are going to be paying these youth what you call universal basic salary so that robots can take their space, I think you are just going to kill the human race.
And
So
I want to say Cyber T was right what she said, or they said Cyber is on it because the power, the real universal power, will not let fallible men really take this. But even as you're saying about your grandma, yeah, these AIs, they are replicated from us as human beings, the original. Right? The creator of so all of these AIs, robotics, it's again that battery that keeps going and going, and they're just trying to replicate what the creator has made. So I think everybody on the thing is love, love. It's true. Isaiah right here, you're gonna read that one. Yep. Satan wants to be a copycat. Then he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do a great job. And there's gonna be a
I
problem.
love
But
I
we
love this Akida guy. I really love his write-ups and the likes. Akida, okay, okay, it's a female. Okay, Akida, I really we really love you. We love your statement. Let me just read through what you just said first. Say so true, and they label every diabolical thing as art. Fine. Now she's quoting from Isaiah 14:13 to this that Satan wants to be like God, but it will not work. Exactly, it will not work. So, Caroline Nwangi says, who started the Miss magazine? If they both work, tax is everywhere. Then we get their kids as early as possible to teach them. Okay.
and that
No,
that
do you
was
know?
that's a plan of the Vatican. Give us your child early on and blah blah blah. So this has been the same plan that has worked. They've been I'm not saying the Vatican. I'm gonna say before that, okay? But now we're still living in these times post Jesus's assassination and resurrection. Again, I'm coming from a Western point of view. It's the same thing. So yeah, it's like yeah, it's to influence the child to steal that innocence so that they are broken adults. Yes, she is right. All of this stuff is geared towards corrupting the youth, whether they see their older siblings do it
Hmm.
or those kids right on the money. It's to and here's what's so diabolical about Africa. Please, we have to know that social sociology departments and the universities all across the world have been studying the impact, how many African youth will be in the world in Africa. So I'm not surprised that there's this concerted thing to really break down the youth in Africa by any means necessary so that it could be a broken down adult society so that they could be easily malleable or I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
Very
yeah,
well.
what you guys are doing is imperative. What everyone
Hmm.
is doing, that's what it is. They have been studying Africa. Again, I'm going to say they, quote unquote, whoever has but they have known, wow, Africa has the largest youth base in the world. Let's pump them garbage. Let's pump them hip hop. Let's pump to them debauchery. Let's make them like the West so we can have little baby minds. Again, it's what they have started. It can't continue. This story cannot continue. We who know everything now, we know the history, books have been opened, knowledge has increased. We cannot be foolish and let that happen to the youth across the globe, and especially not in Africa, Latin America, and even in Asia, because that's what they're trying to do, just keep us infantile, and it's not going to work.
Hmm. Nubi, me, I really appreciate your contribution this night. It's fantastic here. Caroline Wangi says to you, beautiful couple. Oh, so at this point, Nubimi, we want to call, we want to summarize our discussion this night because it's 1 a.m. Nigerian time here. We need to eat the bed. So, in summary, what's the conclusion to us this evening?
In summary, we gotta keep on blowing the horns, be prayerful, be faithful, be prepared, and never give up. And know that the Most High said that He is coming through before these diabolical people can try to destroy His beautiful artwork called Earth. Okay?
Wow,
And
wow,
the Celestials.
wow. Oh, wow. Then there is something still pending on you. You said you are going to send us the link of your video. We would like to see the film.
I will put it in the comments after the video, after the show, because I'm having
Okay,
technical difficulties. But I did
okay,
put it earlier. I did put it
okay,
earlier. There was a link that I put earlier, but I'll put it in the comments later. But
okay. So,
much love. I appreciate your time and effort and patience. I just wanted you to know we did not leave you. We're just working the ground over here while you work
I
the
know.
ground over there, and we will
Wow.
meet up
And
in the airs.
one of these days we are waiting for you in Nigeria to come and see the little that we've been able to do, transforming the life of our youth, the neglected youth, bringing them from whatever challenges they were before and transforming them to a new face. So we look forward to having hosting you in Nigeria one of these days.
Yes, as a matter of fact, just to let you know, we put that in the space. I already told my little brother, Haiti Benefits, he's a music producer. I said, bro,
Okay.
you're going to have to go to Nigeria for us first. And he is very
Whoa.
willing, and he's a sound engineer.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, music and technology and sound media. So you will see us, but you'll probably
Wow.
see my brother Haiti B, but in 2022, no later than 2023. That's what we're setting up here.
Good,
Yeah.
good. We look forward to seeing that. So, from all of us to the rest of everyone that has contributed, everyone that has watched this vlog, and
And those
those that
this
have been
live
this
stream
live stream, and
and
those
those
that
that
have
have been
been
watching up to
okay,
now, I want to say thank you so very much. I appreciate your comments, your contribution, your time. It's
And
been a lot
big
of
up
fun. Yeah. And don't forget
I
to
want to
like
say
this
big
live
up your
stream. Yeah.
students. I wanted to send love to your students before you hang up. Much love to those students. Continue. They are foundational, and I want to send them
wow,
my love and the
wow,
strength. They just got to keep it moving. They got to be the first graduate, and they'll be the example and continue making Cetros better, Cetros Foundation
yeah,
better. So big up the
yeah,
youth.
wow. Thank you so
Thank
very
you
much
so very
from all
much.
of us. Good night. No baby.